This is the Ink, Pray, Love podcast. We talk all things health, wealth, and community connection. Let's go. Welcome to this episode of the Ink, Pray, Love podcast. We are here today in the Lighthouse Studios in Kerobokan, Bali. I'm really grateful for these guys for creating my podcast, producing it, and helping me have this come to you. So if you're in Bali, come by Lighthouse. And today, I'm going to tell you how Bali saved my life. I'll tell you the good, the bad, the ugly, but also how to replicate this process somewhere else if you wanted to, or come to Bali, the island of gods, and be able to completely shift your world, transform it, and build a life you love. I think this is really important for people that want to even change their life wherever they are and be able to find the foundations of what would help you go from an absolute chaotic mess to going to be somebody that, is a community leader, as so they say, or a business owner, or someone that has a huge friend circle, whatever it is. Just build a dope life. This is how I think I did it, and how it really worked for me, right? Because, my story, I started off a drug-addicted drug dealer, and I was in Vancouver, absolutely hopeless. And I turned to plant medicine and counseling. So I started doing the work, and where the work led me was shivering on a couch doing a plant medicine called Iboga and watching a movie that changed my life. And of course, the story, Julia Roberts, fucking Eat, Pray, Love. And the scene that I saw her in Bali was the thing that shifted everything, where I was like, what the fuck is that? I saw the offering scene playing out. I saw that intention. I saw that prayer. And I saw something very special that was like, whatever that is, I need it. My heart, my soul just knew I needed that in my life. And I knew I always had a spiritual side to myself that, I wanted to be connected to a higher power. I just didn't quite know how. But turns out spirituality is a massive antidote and catalyst to transformation. And being in the field of people that are deeply spiritual, or have a spiritual practice, or have that ceremony lifestyle, it's really healing. And when I found myself show up to Bali alone, at a place called Yoga Barn, to do a yoga teacher training. I didn't know I was going to do a training by then, but just to be in the field of all these Balinese people, I was like, wow, okay. Getting myself around people who practice spirituality was a big deal for me, because my old circle was a bunch of drug dealers, and it was just not at all the healthy lifestyle. If it wasn't drug dealers, my normal friends would still be, drinking and doing Molly on the weekends, and binge drinking is how it'd be every weekend. And being in a place where the alcohol consumption and party lifestyle wasn't really a thing, but also the Balinese people are really ceremonial. So I think one of the big aspects of coming to a space that you want to come to change your life and to be outside of the norm is to be around people that are tapped into something different, that are having their priorities. The Balinese culture is so ceremonial. There's so many blessings throughout the day. Every house has its own temple. The people are magic here. The people are so kind. They're the kindest people I've ever met. And I've traveled, fairly extensively and been all over the world, and seeing people and meeting them that are just genuinely kind and sweet and caring like these, it's very healing. It was exactly what I needed. It was a very healing place. Secondly, it was a very healthy place. So Ubud, Bali is naturally just like the yoga capital outside India, and everything was green juice and hippies, but also just like healthy. Like the lifestyle is healthy. Everyone is getting up early. It's so easy to get up at the sunrise. The sun rises at 6 a.m. here all year round. It's near the equator, max 6:30. It's like, it's so easy to wake up with the sunrise and with the roosters. Yeah, there's often in different little villages, you have roosters that'll wake you up. It's just an easy and great way to wake up, like natural alarm clock. And getting up at the sunrise was extremely healing for me. So when I moved out here to Bali and I had this new lifestyle of being around Balinese people and waking up at the sunrise, I would go outside my little villa and walk in the rice paddies And it was one of the most healing and magical things I've ever done. To be in the Balinese nature around Balinese people, this aspect of it was extremely special for me. There was something very simple and healing about that allowed my nervous system and my soul and every deep parts within me to just calm down. So when I came out to Bali, and I made a first Balinese friend, G'day, who's still the shop manager to Conscious Arts Tattoo Shop, I started making friends with the local Balinese people, and I got to see that their priority chains and validation chains were different. So they thought in a much more simple and ceremonial, sweet way, and it wasn't as materialistic and shallow as it was back in Canada where I was from. It was really difficult because everybody is about what kind of car you have, what kind of fancy thing you got, what is this, what is that. They weigh you up on that. Whereas out here, sure, that could be a factor, of course, in human condition it is, but it was different. Everybody drives a scooter. And it allowed me to take that little break for a second where it's easier to connect deeper with people, especially the expat community. And having friends with local Balinese people were teaching me a different culture. I was learning new things. And if you're feeling depressed and you're feeling like you want to have a shift in your life, if you're learning new things while you're around new people, trying new things, it's extremely healing, especially when you're going through mental strife, when you're going through things in your personal life that you want to shift and change, or you want to evolve. Be in a new environment around new people, learning new things, and feed your soul. And when you're there feeding your soul, magical things happen. And I had all these amazing new ideas and all these amazing new opportunities come to me because I was in a new space. And I was open to learn, and I was open to grow, and I was committed to being healthy. So I was practicing yoga, and I was doing yoga teacher trainings, and I was learning new yoga, and I was learning Indonesian, and I was committed to working towards being a new human. And that's where magic started happening in my life. And I started manifesting new opportunities and new people. And this was one of the biggest things about Bali is the people you meet, not just the Balinese people, but especially the expat community, people that moved or are visiting from other countries all around the world. This is a world-class place to meet people that you wouldn't meet back in your hometown. And this is a key pillar in this. So pillar one would have been the Balinese culture, the Balinese people, and the nature and magic of Bali. That is pillar one, is just the people and how this place is. Pillar two is the expat community, the world class people that you meet that, they change your life just because you'd be friends with people you never thought you'd meet before. I never thought my best friends would be a meditation teacher millionaire from London, or a 6'8" Lithuanian, boxer, human performance coach, or, a world-class yoga teacher from California. I never thought I'd meet these people, but having them in my life massively increased my quality of life, but also opened my eyes up to what's new, to things I never saw and heard of. And I started meeting people that became my business partners because we built trust so quickly. The island of the gods here has a very different veil on how things are connected, like a very different connection to time and space and truth and honesty, but connection. You get really connected to someone really quickly out here, very fast. It's a magical island. And that's why relationships in Bali are super magnified, where you can be dating somebody for a month. It'll feel like, 6 months. It's just condensed. And friendships, you get super close, super quickly. It's condensed. So, I've been friends with these guys out here that became family to me. And we go through so much together, and we became like family, and they became my business partners. I wouldn't be the guy I am today without having these incredible people in my life. And that's why this island is magic, because you meet people that are also seekers, that are also, Bali attracts a certain type of person. And the certain people that you'll meet here on the island are going to be seekers. They're going to be kooky entrepreneurs, people that left the matrix, that want to, work on themselves, but also be in a like-minded community and love nature and want to live an unconventional life. And if you got enough of those people together, especially you can note the talented ones, they're going to be special, and you're going to meet special people. And meeting special people creates special opportunities. And that's where I was able to come here with no brick and mortar business experience and not a lot of other experience in legitimate business, and be able to launch now 9 brands in 8 years because I was able to meet the right people, learn the right things, and have the right opportunities in front of me. This island is magic if you have the right intention. So if you are in an aligned space, doors will open up for you. And having this community around you to be in the right place at the right time with the right people is where new doors and new doors and new doors open. Now, when I started like really seeing what really worked for me, yeah, definitely the big pillar would have been the right people, meeting the right people out here and having the right setting for that, and getting outside of my perspective from back at home. So I was stuck in a frame of mind of what was important and how I'm supposed to live my life back in Canada. And coming out here, it's totally different. Like, you don't think about the same things you think about back in Canada. And that opened up a whole new lens on the world and who I was and how I wanted to live my life. And that was really special because when I started seeing myself in a different way, I started seeing what I want to do the rest of my life differently. And this is where I was able to find a new focus in on what was coming in my world and what I wanted to produce, as well as how I wanted to feel internally. And having this new focus in on myself was massive. It was absolutely massive. And so this is where I think if we can have the right stage for us with the right intention, with the right people, Bali has all of that. And if you want to find a way to change in your life and you can't make it to Bali, get yourself in a community of people that are like-minded, that are going to where you want to go. Say a conscious community, especially. Find yourself a conscious community of conscious entrepreneurs that are doing it, and get out of the toxic circle that you could have been in and get into a positive circle of supportive friends and build some shit. So go somewhere positive and be able to at least build community and find a way to get healthy, learn something that's positive to fix your life up, and find the right people around you to build something, and then also charity work. So coming out here, when I found a way to give and have seva be a big part of my life, everything changed for me, especially in a place where karma is so strong. If you're able to do karma yoga, the act of giving and service, and that be a practice for yourself, things change. And my self-esteem totally got to be raised. How I felt about myself and how I felt others felt about me, everything was uplifted because I felt like a good person finally, and I was doing good people things. So going somewhere where you're able to then be somebody that you could be proud of and bring other people along with you to do it will change your life. It's massive. It's definitely healing. And to go somewhere like Bali to do it, especially like anywhere you travel in the world, if you're able to do some good and you want to go live there for a little while, do some good in where you're going to stay, in the neighborhood where you're going to live, and notice how things change for you. You know, how people smile at you differently, how everything is different for you. And that was a massive thing that changed for me in Bali, was finding a way to give. I always say that the thing that's most important, like the most valuable thing that I can give anybody, and I think any of us can get, is a perspective change. And Bali changed my perspective massively because it showed me I could be a new guy in a new place around people that were new to me, that spoke totally different than me, the expats and the locals, and I could change who I wanted to be. And that changed my entire world massively because I changed my perspective on the world. And Bali, or anywhere that you want to go that can put you in those positions, can change your life completely. Even if you just go for a vacation, for a short trip, imagine the value you get by seeing that there's something else out there, that you can be someone different. And that's what it was for me in 2015, was my first trip out to Bali just to do a couple teacher trainings. I didn't move here then. I was honestly just coming for a month to stop doing so much drugs back at home, and I was still a drug dealer. And I was out here doing a yoga teacher training while I was doing international drug deals from my encrypted phone. You know, obviously I didn't fully change just yet. Like, I was still on the path and still dealing drugs. But it showed me that I could be somebody else. It showed me what other people were doing. I got to see and make friends with people that were conscious entrepreneurs running businesses in Bali. And I was like, oh shit, this guy did it. And I got to humanize them. And I'm like, I could do that too. And that is that perspective change, seeing that there's someone within your reach that you met that's doing something that you want to do, and seeing that it's not that big of a deal, you can pull it off, that is worth so much money. So anytime I've gone anywhere where I can meet somebody that's doing something I want to do, I ask them questions. Like, how did you do it? What'd you do? And just start to see that it's just a series of steps. But getting yourself in the same room with the person who's done those steps to see that you could do it, that's worth the money. That perspective shift, that is worth it. That's worth the time, the energy. It's like, that's the gold. That's what we want to get, right? So I met like a international architect that was developing real estate out here. And I met him at the gym, and I just struck up a conversation with him. I was like, okay, I'll be back. Maybe I'll run a business here. And then I saw him again when I came back the second time and sold all my shit and moved to Bali. And I was like, hey, like, good to see you. Let's be friends, grab a bite sometime. And then when I was ready for it, I'm like, I want to build a business. And he built Karma House for me. And I was like, cool. Just because I saw it, but he was important for my journey in this because I saw that you could be a dude from Germany that is doing something that he learned how to do and building a business and then running it across the world. And he's a very successful architect. So it was really cool to see, I just met him at the gym, like super low key. There's so countless interactions like this I had where I just went somewhere and talked to people. But being in Bali for this, it's absolutely life-changing, and I highly recommend it. And I think showing people Bali through my eyes is something I'm really excited to do. And providing the experiences of meeting the right people at the right time, opening up their mind, experiencing the culture and the nature of Bali, these powerful waterfalls and beaches and jungle. Like, it's a very powerful land. And then bringing people through the right experiences internally, the right ecstatic experiences, breath work and meditation, mindfulness trainings, like the right information at the right place, in the right setting, meeting the right people, that is extremely powerful. And I think that's going to be a really valuable experience. So I'm going to host a Bali retreat. That's going to be the end of this year, starting at December 28th. And I'm going to have like a small group of people coming through to experience Bali through my eyes. And I'm going to take them to do a bunch of really cool shit and pack in my whole Bali life into about a week of experiences to see what kind of transformation container we can create for people, what kind of inspiration we can create for people, how to recharge them, reinvigorate them, expand their perspectives, teach them some skills, and also have a really good time. So instead of having New Year's Eve going and getting fucked up, how about experiencing the magic of Bali and starting your year off correctly, like powerfully, and having a plan to smash your year. So it's going to be a realignment retreat, but also to plan 2025 out and then have a year's plan to work through to make it the most successful year of your life. And I thought that would be a really fun thing to take people on. Let's go visit the kids, do the charity work, see the waterfalls, have some surprises. That'll be super fun. Go to luxury cliffront meditation retreat centers, other luxury resorts, tattoo parties, whatever. Let's do some cool shit and have an amazing experience, but meet other like-minded humans from around the world. And any retreat I've been to some dope retreats. I made really amazing world-class connections, and they were my lifetime friends and even business partners moving forward. And it's an amazing place to meet the right people, right time at the right place, and see what comes out of that. And those are the relationships I love keeping. And that's what I'm saying is you meet people that you would never meet before in your own neighborhood. And those are the people that can change your perspective and do some amazing things with, and having international friends that, you'll keep for life and go meet up again, somewhere else in the world. So I highly recommend that. If you want to come to the retreat, please message me on Instagram. Just DM me retreat or tell me you listen to this podcast and I'll give you the details. I'll also put a link in the show notes once I get the website up. I'm excited to tell you guys about this. It's a new offering for me and something that I feel like I'm totally the right person to do is bring you Bali that'll change your life. So that's it for me on this episode of the Ink Pray Love podcast. If you want to change your life, follow the tips that I gave you in this episode and put them anywhere that you can in the world. Like, even if it's in your hometown, just find the right people, change your perspective, get healthy, get around new ways of thinking for yourself. And, also come to Bali and I'll help you out along the way. Message me if you need some help. If you want to change your life and build a business and rebuild yourself, I can help you with one-on-one coaching. or let me know if you want to come to this retreat. Big love, homies. I'll see you in the next episode. Peace. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Ink, Pray, Love podcast. I hope you found it inspiring, entertaining, funny, and also feeling a little bit more present and connected to yourself. Please leave a review and like and subscribe and do all those things. I'd really appreciate that. As well as if you're feeling in a giving mood, this podcast is there for the charities that I love to support. Go to www.arenbahia.com/charity and get some of those good karma points. This podcast is brought to you by Lighthouse Studios in Bali, as well as Full Reset Coaching. That is my coaching practice. And if you're looking for help in business, inner game impact, and building your legacy to be something you're proud of, your brand, your business, and how you walk the earth and who you impact, and also having the mindset and the heart set to be able to be happy handling it all, I'm here for you. Just DM me. Let's go. Peace out, homies. I'll see you on the next episode.